a really casual grill. Also, we're not hearing your ads yet on Rhett Palmer's show. We're expecting that, you know.
What is that? Who'd you call?
I called the owner of Mr. Manatee's.
Does he know you're? He's sure it's you? Or do you think you're?
He comes in here every once in a while. I was here when he came in.
Sometimes it's always, sometimes it seems it's the other guy. Always. Hold on, that's a good one. No. Sometimes it seems it's the other guy who wins the lottery. I'm getting tired.
Could we talk on what happened in Manchester? A lot of people are interested in that.
Oh, did you see my painting I did today for Manchester?
No.
See if you guys like this.
You did a painting of.
Yeah, this morning.
Well,
I hope you like it.
he does it with his finger.
Well, it doesn't matter where I do it, but I do it. Okay, here it is. This is what I did this morning.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that great?
It's good.
That's great.
So it's the British flag with a heart in the center, and then of course
You should copyright
blood
that.
coming off that.
You should
And then-
copyright that. Copyright that.
I don't know how to copyright. How do you copyright it?
It costs $35, maybe $79 now. It keeps changing.
Go home today. You copyright it for me, and I'll give you the $35.
Okay.
What
This afternoon.
would you copyright it for?
You copyright it as a picture
I mean,
because he can sell it.
I could.
Yeah.
You want to see something that'll blow
It's a
your mind?
great idea.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Now I did this painting a few months ago. Okay. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay. There's the painting that I did a few months ago. Okay. Okay. That's a painting I did a few months ago. Now let's see if I can find this. Here's a painting that just sold for $109 million. A Japanese billionaire bought it. See if I can find it here. Here it is. That's his and that's mine. The one on top is his. Sold for $119 million. Mine's the one on the bottom. I actually like mine better.
yeah,
What?
I don't like either of them. I like your flag.
What? Thank you. Me too. I like that over that stuff much better. I'm glad you like my flag.
You got a hand going up.
Sometimes it always seems it's the other guy who win the lottery. Sometimes you're first in line. Sometimes it's eternity. But that's life. But that's life. That's life. That's life. That's life. Sometimes, baby, it's wrong. Sometimes it feels right. Sometimes it's smooth as a baby's skin. Sometimes it cuts like a knife. That's life. That's life. That's life. That's life. That's life. And we have the former deputy director. Yay! Thank you, kids. I love you too. And we have the deputy director of the CIA. He's in here today. He is Dick Kerr. Kerr. How are you, Dick?
I'm wonderful.
And I was introduced to you a few months back by this man, Stanford Erickson, former White House correspondent, who also is a resident now of Vero Beach. How are you?
I'm fine. And you know, when you say that's life, a lot of people are saying, well, what happened in Manchester, that's life. I mean, we're going to just have to live with this.
It's just happening
Richard,
everywhere.
how do you respond to something like that?
Well, I heard that comment
Yes.
that someone I'm not sure who said it. It was a British commentator.
British
said we're just
media
going to have to
commentator.
live with it. Well, that's incredible that you're going to live with this kind of tragedy, and we don't have to live with it. Would be my
Why?
view.
How can we? You're the former director of the CIA, former deputy director of the CIA. What can we do to end this insanity?
I think the British and the French and the Europeans are going to have a harder time because they've let the Muslim.
Oh, they didn't build a wall.
They didn't build a wall, but they let people come in and live in the cities and establish their own independent cultures.
Yeah,
and
what's
separate.
that crap?
I think right now, about last I saw, 48% of Muslims in the United Kingdom said they had more faith to their religion than they did to Great Britain. In other words, they had more loyalty,
more allegiance,
allegiance
yes.
and loyalty.
So what do you think about that?
That's impossible. That's nearly impossible to have a country that is that divided. Now, I think we haven't reached that point in this country where we have that kind of ingrained and kind of entrenched groups that are separate. But we're not assimilating very well. We're not doing very well at that.
You take Mrs. Pelosi in particular, but even President Obama, he felt that a borderless society was the best society because that's a society we're part of the world, and therefore we should be borderless because we're a world. That's a con in this sense. When you have a borderless society in the United States, what you're doing is you're creating an economic environment that's going to push us into European socialism. That's because you can't control the funds anymore.
What do you think about this character? I mean, here we got this lady who was elected the Prime Minister of England, and I was tickled. And then you got this other jamoke who's been elected by the French, and he's totally the opposite. He wants to keep the euro. I mean, the confusion prevails. And he wants to be all-inclusive and allow even more Muslims to come into their country.
Well,
I think that's the wave of the future.
Yeah, well, I think we have to oppose it in this country. We have a culture, whether we think of it or not. The Americans have a culture, and we want to retain. It's going to change. It's going to change over time with time and with people. But I don't think I think we want to maintain our culture. We don't want to start having subcultures inside the country that are not assimilated. I think that will only lead to further dispute and controversy and violence. And
well, you have a group in this country, but throughout the world, that they believe in one world, and many of the environmentalists believe this. It's our world. It's a world. So when you break it down by countries,
and look what's happened to Miami. That used to be our world. Now they brought in the world. Instead of us pulling them up, they pulled us down, and it looks like a third world nation down there. Well, not on the beach, I understand, but a lot of it. It looks like a third world nation.
I went to a drugstore there about 3 years ago and started asking in English.
I went to the mall down there. I could not find a person even at the Apple store that spoke English.
That's right. She would not speak to me in English. She answered to me in Spanish. Yes, that is.
I think that's unacceptable.
I think it's unacceptable too. But if you take the people that believe in one world, they think one world. Ultimately, we're all in this together, so we should all feed people. And they don't have to work. They just have to work if they want to work, but we should take care of them. Well, ultimately, that doesn't work. Somebody has to pay. There's no, as everyone says, there's no free lunch. Yes.
No. And it is sad because I understand that the America has been built on the backs, though, of the proletariat and the common man.
That's right. And of immigrants.
Yeah. I mean, look at...
all of us are immigrants.
Yeah.
So it is...
Well, are you Irish?
Scottish.
Scottish. Well, the same thing almost. I mean, but there was a time.
Not quite.
Oh, yeah. Damn fighting words there, Palmer.
But yes, they're the same. They're the same people.
Let's go have a beer and fight about us. Arr!
And they will.
They will. What did I say that solicited that? What did I say? I was going to say something. What did I say when I just said that?
They'll fight about it.
No. Go backwards. What we were talking about. Shucks. See, that's the problem. Getting a little older, you forget what you're doing.
Well, he was in Ireland, part of a commission to bring peace there, and he did it. Richard did that, which is amazing. He helped doing that.
For 7 years, I was involved in the peace treaty, the Easter Sunday peace treaty, which was...
really?
Yeah, it was wonderful. A wonderful experience.
The Catholics and the Protestants hating one another.
They did hate each other. And the IRA was a violent
What does everybody hate? How can they kill each other in the name of Jesus yet they claim they both believe in Jesus? By the way, Mr. B, I don't know what's going on with our air conditioning, but I am burning up in here. And I'm thinking we might have to call Mr. Cleddy again. I don't know what's going on here. Could you check it out for me, please? Maybe it froze up.
It's down to 64. That's all I know.
Well, it's not in here.
Not 64.
No, it's not 64 in here.
But there's a lot of hot air in here, and a lot of singing.
That is true. There's a lot of hot air.
And your music has kind of heated this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving the room.
I think we better open this door and let some air in here.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Phew.
Much better.
I swear, sweating.
But I mean, when you're doing, I can't understand how there's a common belief in God and that they kill one another in Ireland.
Yeah, in the name of Jesus.
I never.
How can you kill somebody
I was
in
in
the
a
name-
Brooklyn bar with my friend. He says, "Don't mention that you're a Protestant. Don't mention that we're in this bar. It was an Irish bar. You don't mention that because we won't get out of here alive." I was told that about 8 years ago when I was in Brooklyn.
Well, there are bars in Boston and places where you don't admit that, you don't say I'm a Protestant. 'Cause
Well, I can remember
Catholic.
we were at I was used to sing in nightclubs and stuff and bars and stuff when I was younger. James Taylor, Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Anyway, I would be singing in clubs, and stuff like this. Keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Anyway, so we're at this club one night, and I had this friend, Zavarella, I forget his name, but he was a comedian upstate New York. So he's there doing his joking things. And he said something about the bikers. And all of a sudden, the bikers were coming after us. I forget what exactly happened. Archie, they're coming after us. They're coming after us. Archie Bunker, And the police had to escort us out of the place. We had to be escorted out. Oh, my word. I tell you what. I had to pay my dues, though. I had to pay my dues there,
Then he went and bought a motorcycle.
Back then, they would have said, "Who is that Fagarito up there playing his little banjo? Beep, 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 beep. Why can't you ride your scooter? Put your motorcycle away. It makes too much noise, and your hair's ugly and gray." Anyway, but can you imagine? I don't know. Did you ever run into a bully when you were younger?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, tell me your bully story.
Well, I changed schools. I went to 20-some schools before I started high school.
You were a military brat?
No, I lived with
You
my...
got kicked out a lot?
No, my stepfather couldn't hold a job, and he moved about every 3 or 4
Really?
months. And
What was the matter? Was it alcohol or?
No.
How could a guy not
he
keep a
couldn't
job?
work? He couldn't work for anybody.
Why?
Couldn't stand.
Oh, he was egotistical, prideful?
No, he just couldn't stand to work for anybody.
So he quit.
So he quit
Why didn't he own a business for himself then?
because he wasn't either smart enough or didn't have any capability to do it. Had no skills. But anyway, I went to a new school about every
word.
6 months. So I was chased.
Well, you were
I
the new
was
kid.
the new kid.
There's a new kid in
Yeah.
town. Let's go beat him up.
But I was
There's a
fast.
new kid yeah, I was fast.
I was fast. I could outrun most of them.
Yeah.
Or I learned how to do it.
Did you ever seek vengeance on them when you became the deputy director of the CIA? Did you say, "Hey, remember that guy, Bernie Schwartz there? He used to beat me up. I'm going to find that guy."
I never was in one place long enough to learn their names.
Yeah. Of course, there wouldn't really be a Bernie Schwartz because you don't find Jewish people bullying. Mostly, it's they get bullied.
Yeah, it would. I didn't. I survived. It wasn't
Why
that
do
bad.
people bully the Jews? Why this vitriolic thing for the Jews?
It's Christ. It is a historic.
Well, I don't know. It's almost a testimony to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob because they wouldn't come after the Jews unless there was some element of truth.
Well, they are separate. They've always been a people.
Yeah, they don't proselytize.
They've always maintained their separateness.
Yeah.
So they always were different. So they are always identifiable.
Yeah.
And then at one point in time they were the money lenders.
Yeah.
So they were the people that were the shopkeepers and the money lenders.
So people resented their success.
People resented it. And
Hey, you got a lot of nerve being so hardworking.
That's right. And so separate and independent.
Well, it's also the name of Jesus. Now, he was a Jew. And years ago, when I became converted, I believed in the Eastern religions until I was 29. Came to believe in Jesus when I was 29. And I had a van that said, "Tell all the world about Jesus." I used to do these gospel concerts. Beautiful work. And this pure white van said, "Tell all the world about Jesus." And had a globe of the earth on both sides. People would throw tomatoes at me, give me the finger, throw coffee out their windows at me. Now, if I had said, "Tell all the world about Muhammad," no one would have bothered me. Tell all the world about Buddha. It's not offensive. The name of Jesus offends, and that in itself is a testimony to the fact there must be some power to that name. Otherwise, why would anybody be so offended? And then I tell people, you hate Jesus. I don't hate Jesus. Yes, you do. Because you keep doing, "Oh, no, he was just a nice man." But no. You hate Jesus. And even in the scriptures, I was away in a retreat. Remember I told you that?
Yep.
Was it 2 weekends ago? 3 weekends ago? And it was an all men's retreat. And I happened to enter my room and saw the 10 Commandments. Do you know where it says in there about God? Read not just the one word 10 Commandments, or the one sentence. Read the commandments about there are those that hate him, and he will visit not such good things on those that hate him. What do you mean hate him? And Jesus said, "Well, if you obey me, you love me, and if you don't, you hate me." So, pretty heavy. There's a lot to chew on there. Especially for a guy like me that doesn't always obey him. I was in a meeting with a bunch of men last night, all men, and there was a lot of swearing and needless swearing. I think when guys get together, they kind of feel they got to do this. This was not a spiritual retreat last night, but it was, or you could say it was spiritual in some ways. But anyway, there was a lot of swearing, and at first it really irritated me. I thought, is this necessary? It's just not necessary. I have another group of men that I belong with, and they have a swear can, and if you say a swear word, you have to put a buck in there, so it sort of quells the swearing, But of course, if something offends you, they say if you spot it, you got it. So when if some personality trait about me bothers you, which I know you guys find nothing wrong with me at all, right?
No, where can I make the list?
But if something about me bothers you, then you need to look in the mirror. And it's true. If I find something offensive about somebody else, he interrupts too much, like Hannity, drives me up a wall. Could it be that perhaps Rhett interrupts too much?
Never.
Never in the course of his day. What are we going to do, Dick?
You mean this afternoon or in the world?
Dick Kerr, former deputy director of the CIA. You were right up there. Things are not the same. This is not the same world it was.
Of all the presidents, I know George H.W. Bush you worked with, but all of them, which was the one that sort of just touched your heart, that you just felt this was a unique person?
Yeah. Who would you like to see in heaven out of all of them?
Well, Bush, I would say.
Really? Senior?
Me.
He was a
not W, but senior.
Senior. He was a good person.
Yeah.
Good ideas, good values, thoughtful. I mean, really hard to find a characteristic.
I've been with him a number of times. We went to church together in Kennebunk a couple of years ago. I've been with him a number of times. The guy has a great sense of humor.
He does.
And that's a telltale sign of a greater intellect, is it not?
And he treats people
Humility?
well.
Yes.
He treats everybody well, including ordinary people.
But so does George W.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Are you the one that told me the story about Jeb?
No.
That he went into a house locally, and he was talking to the bartender for a special event, and this big shot who's given him hundreds of thousands of dollars boldly comes right into the room. This is before the people have shown up, the guests, and goes, blah, 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 blah. And Jeb turns and says, "Excuse me, but I'm talking with this man." In other words, to Jeb, that the bartender was as important as the guy who was writing the check for a lot of money. And I like the fact that I heard that story, because I was a little ticked off at Jeb for not keeping his word, and because he said, whoever won the
election,
not the election, the
presidential
nomination.
The nomination,
yes.
where they'd stand behind. He should have kept his word. That's my
He should
belief.
have
And I'm
kept his
very
word.
disappointed he didn't. But now, having heard this other story, it touches me, the fact that he put that bartender.
I think he's a well-intentioned person. He's a
Yeah,
decent man.
I
I've
agree.
met him.
I think we needed a bully to take on the bullies.
But I don't get along that well with Jeb, and you told me why, because of your book.
Yes.
The book is called...
Mama's Boys Presidents, Why Do We Keep Electing Him?
And I get along with Senior, I get along with W, but Jeb and I just never, I've
Why
never
is
felt
that?
comfortable.
Jeb-
He's a daddy's boy.
He's
He's
a
not a
dad-
mama's boy.
he's-
W's a mama's boy, and Senior's a mama's boy.
No, but Senior was a well-balanced individual. He integrated the mama
It
part
wouldn't
and
be
the daddy's
present.
boy.
Wouldn't be prudent. Not at this juncture.
Yeah.
Read my lips.
He's a balanced person.
No new taxes.
He didn't
shoulda
like
kept-
that.
Now he should have kept his word too.
He should have.
And he went down into the basement with my friend, who now just died, his former White House physician, and he said, "Bert, I believe tonight I've lost the next election."
Yeah, I knew Bert. Yeah,
Oh, you knew Bert. He
I'm
just
a
died.
neighbor. He was my
Oh.
next door neighbor.
What a gentle, tender. So he was really kind of like a liberal. You realize that?
Oh yeah.
But he was an oncologist, and they recently did a write-up on him a few years ago.
Well,
Full
they just
page.
did one in the Wall Street Journal.
Again?
Just within the last
On Saturday.
Since he died?
since he died. Yeah.
Oh, please, can you get a copy of it? I want to read
I'm
it.
sure I have one. It's done by a woman who was one of his patients.
Oh well, no, they ran the same one then, because that's right. She had pus coming out of her ears and her nose. They said she was going to die. They gave her up to die. He stuck by her side, and now 20 years later, she's a writer for the Wall Street Journal, and she owes her life being saved because of Bert Lee.
Yeah.
By the way, a moment of remembrance for Dr. Bert Lee, former White House physician to George Bush Sr.
Yeah.
A good man. We loved you, Bert. And his wife is Nancy? No?
Anne.
Ann. God bless you, Ann.
And she has a song named after her.
Really?
Anne in the Sand, and she grew up in one of the islands.
Oh, really?
And it's Anne something.
Well, we'll have to look into that. Got to take a break. All right. How are you, sir?
Gentlemen.
Hey, do you want to meet this guy's former White House, former
We go way back.
deputy director? Oh, you
Dick and
know.
I go way back.
Yeah, we go back.
How are you, sir?
Not that far back, but
Couple of
a
weeks.
ways back. Yeah.
Okay, now what we have to do is clear this up.
Yeah.
He's a former fighter pilot, you know.
Is that right? I didn't know
He's a
that.
big guy. I don't know how he got on a plane.
I wonder what kind of aircraft he got into.
Fighter pilot.
Turn the headsets down just a little. We're getting feedback.
All right. See you. Keep the music
Hey,
coming.
Dick, is that a promise or a threat?
Keep the music coming.
Okay, we gotta clean out the studio. Steve Olds is at 11.
This is mine, I believe.
Okay.
That's life. That's life.
The Mermaid by the Sea,
Oh.
you got to record that. That's excellent.
What's already recorded?
No, but
Did you shut off
in
Facebook?
the studio, and make money off that. You can make money. I'm going to try and copyright your photo. Could you email me the picture of the flag? Rhett, email me the picture of the
Oh, yeah?
flag. Email me that. I'll
Okay.
try and copyright it.
Don't leave till we do it. We can do it right now. Let me put this away. I love my new guitar. Yeah.
The new guitar there?
No, that's another one. That's a regular six string.
So you played all this. It's no longer. Now, do you have those all been played out?
My old friend Dick Curry ain't be on my radio show. What we're gonna talk about, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Keep it up. You're good.
Rhett, you might wanna call the air conditioning guys. Where'd he go?
Why, it's not working?
Well, I've been hearing this thing go on and off, and it's really not putting anything out.
What we gotta do is turn it off. Gotta let it off.
So Al's Auto Restoration, two brothers who we admire greatly. 772-696-2820. That's 772-696-2820. You are listening to the Mayor of the Airwaves.
We want to give a special thanks out there and recognition to, of course, Mr. B's group that is involved with the Vero Beach Amateur Radio Club in April 2017. Vero Beach Amateur Radio Club was awarded designation as an ARRL Special Service Club. That's the Amateur Radio Relay Link, okay? Which is a club that exists to go above and beyond for the communities and for amateur radio.
waiting to hear your voice, young man.
They can't wait, I'm sure. They're knocking down the door.
This group gets together when we have a hurricane, and they're there for, they're the leaders in their amateur radio communities and provide active training classes.
I'll finish cleaning up after we get into news.
That's all right, brother. Of all the things I'm worried about, that's not one of them.